Ukraine's president says Russian attacks on Ukraine's cities are set to escalate. Volodymyr Zelensky is giving that warning, while Moscow makes a new promise to allow civilians to escape the fighting. We have new video on this Monday morning from Irpin. This shows seniors, women, children trying to flee that city on the outskirts of the capital. Irpin is coming under heavy bombardment as Russian forces attempt to surround Kyiv. Ukraine accuses Moscow of breaking its word twice over the weekend. It promised a ceasefire and safe passage for civilians, but that did not happen. This morning, Moscow is making that same promise again. And our senior correspondent, Susan Ormiston, is here to begin our coverage today. She's in Lviv, Ukraine, and going to bring you some reporting that is going to include, we want to give you ample warning, there will be some graphic pictures of the casualties of war in Susan's report. Susan, good morning. Welcome once again. Let's begin with that new promise from Russia.
Yeah, Ukrainians woke up this morning perhaps with some optimism after the Russian military announced that there would be humanitarian corridors. They would open this morning and allow people in besieged cities to get out. Those cities include Kharkiv, which has been badly shelled over the last week, also Kyiv and Mariupol in the south. And of course, there were two attempts for a ceasefire down there on the weekend. Both failed. However, as the details became more known, it appears that those corridors, many of them lead only to Belarus or Russia. So the Russian military is funneling people on routes out to those two areas, Belarus and Russia. And of course, that is completely unacceptable to many Ukrainians, most. And the spokesperson for the Ukrainian president today called it completely immoral. He said the suffering is used to create the desired television picture of people leaving those cities. So a very confusing situation, and one that really failed on the weekend when Ukraine accused Russia of continuing to shell even though it had agreed to a ceasefire.
On that point, Susan, there is outrage from Ukraine and there is strong international condemnation over what happened in Irpin yesterday, a Russian attack that appears to have directly targeted civilians. This is what I was referencing, the very disturbing video, as they tried to flee that city.
Yes, Irpin was under heavy barrage of mortars and missiles perhaps on the weekend. And Saturday, they tried to escape and huddled under a bridge. And they got into difficulty there, trying to leave. And then on Sunday, more bombardment, burning houses, people trying to flee. And then there was video taken of an attack as civilians were trying to cross an exposed road. And I'll warn you again that this is very disturbing.
Мирное население,
On the other side of that road, a family lay dying. 4 people ended up dead after that attack. 8 people in all died during that evacuation from Irpin. It's been roundly criticized across the world. Civilians were in full visible view trying to get out from their besieged city. And last night, President Zelensky condemned the attack.
Коли вони намагалися просто вийти з міста, щоб врятуватись, цілу родину. Скільки таких родин в Україні загинуло? Ми не пробачимо, ми не забудемо. Ми покараємо кожного, хто скоїв звірства на цій війні.
Ukrainians are now convinced that Russia will bear no mercy on civilian areas. There are towns which had no relationship to military installations which are being bombed. And then Irpin, of course, very close to Kyiv, really a suburb on the outskirts of Kyiv. that came under attack. So a very worrisome situation, and really makes you wonder whether any Ukrainians would feel safe enough to attempt to leave even a besieged city through these corridors. But they are desperate in places like Mariupol, run out of food and water and electricity. The Red Cross is in areas like that, ready with teams to help them out. And we'll see as the day progresses whether, in fact, this was a chance, an opportunity for Ukrainians to escape.
Susan, thank you so much. Our senior correspondent there live in Lviv, Ukraine.